Henry Zelikovsky, founder and CEO of Softlab360. What are your recent successful applications of AI and/or machine learning in wealth management?
Morning, Chris. It's a good topic to discuss. We have been in machine learning for quite a while, and we've been looking for a variety of use cases, how to apply the capability of examining large amounts of data to where wealth tech, financial sector can benefit from that calibration of population across the United States and where an investment strategy that will be useful. So one of the cases that we applied in the last few years and came to actually a good example in wealth tech is with the company Intelligent Data. It's a concept of life event trajectory. And we have a machine learning application, our technique we use in machine learning to examine United States Census population, examine criteria for how life events are generated over life events, and technically projecting and anticipating the life event occurrences in calendar sense and expecting at what point critical implications on income expense could affect people's savings and people's investment valuations. And one of the criteria, especially after COVID, has been occurrences, predictable occurrences of certain diseases and what it takes to maintain them. And that has to do with people looking very actively into what savings they might have or what investment they might have at that period of time when these events might occur. That has become very useful this year of having discussions with portfolio investment management companies on where that person, household under management, AUMs, where that is useful to decide if the structure of portfolio, composition of portfolio is appropriate for the age and demographic of a person, with expectation that certain occurrences of life events, particularly implication on medical expenses, could occur. And one example that became useful is the generation of a sentinel score for gradual population age to decide if, let's say, annuities is an appropriate investment composition for people approaching 70, 75 years old, 65 and up. Because at that point, annuities may not be the optimal option. They may need to be divested, and a new asset class may be invested into, considering what the composition of the family is or will be with respect to life event predictions. So correlating what people need in income expense, what they might have, what expenses they may need, and using an investment strategy to correlate to expectations, correlate to what might happen to a person, to a family, especially looking at it as people like you. So if I'm a certain demographic living in New York City, there will be a certain propensity for me to might be experiencing certain illnesses in life at a certain age. And my investment strategy, since I was, say, 25 years old to my current age, might be appropriate or less appropriate as I approach these critical events in life event trajectory. So using machine learning to calibrate all that and periodically learn of new expenses, of new implications, is a good idea to help financial advisors to look into that service to say, what can you tell me looking at my household under management, what would be expected from that household to occur in life event projections with expense ratio, in the income expense ratio, and whether my investment strategy to that person, to that family, is a good enough strategy as I approach those expectations. And the score, it basically calibrates into a single number that you can decide whether you should change your recommendation to your household or not.
This sounds like technology that can help advisors have conversations with clients related to life stage and even health that advisors might not think of or struggle to know how to bring up with clients.
That is true. I think that it's a good answer to a good idea to say might not be aware of, and occasionally might not be even inclined to begin conversation on illnesses. It's not something we want to bring up front, but it is a cost. It is a cost, and as we know, medical expenses in the United States, much expenses come out of pocket. Much expenses come way above insurance coverage, and it's important to take an understanding of that. But this is one of the examples where looking at calibration through machine learning AI at large amount of data that explains trajectory of life events and applying that to investment strategy in general or to investment composition in general or specific cases is a good conversation to have with advisors. They might actually benefit from looking into the scenario to augment how they do financial planning and how they execute that plan.
And from the advisor's perspective, this technology adds both customization and automation to that process, correct?
That is true. And technology can take advantage of what particular advisory firm already has in their own perspective, right? All companies that try to be unique in their offering, unique in their analysis, they might have privately maintained data that would be complementary to this conversation. And technology can accept that new data points, new data elements, and use them in the machine learning, relearning sense. We can adapt a new criteria, a new dimension and customize this specifically to advisory firm.
Henry, I've learned a lot. I think a lot of people have. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Stay well.